Hello. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're about to get started momentarily. I have two logistical asks for you. Hi, my name is Bada. My first ask, if you're sitting in this corner over here, this is where my webcam is. This is where the people who want to watch remotely, they're going to be watching from that corner. So do your best to not obstruct this as much as possible. The other heads up for you is, if you would like to give public comment today, if you'd like to speak before the body, you need to come up here, grab one of these comment cards, and return to me in the little tray right here. Thank you.
Đại家好啊，會議即將開始㗎啦。咁如果你哋啱嚟嘅話咧，留意兩樣嘢。第一咧就係話大會將會錄影嘅個鏡頭就邊，所以盡量咧就唔好阻擋呢個視線啦。如果喺右手邊嘅話，如果左手邊咧就係翻譯嘅字幕。咁如果你係想為今日嘅議題發言嘅話咧，就請喺呢張台嗰度填寫你嘅發言卡。咁到時我哋會叫你個名嘅。多謝。
Are there any other members of the DCCC that don't have a seat? Mike and Chad, you're sitting here, right? Anybody else? This is free. Jade, you're next to you. No, this is free. Good. How are you?
I'm going to explain what in Chinese. 頭先聽唔到嗰啲咧，就我哋啱因為係今個會議係網上播嘅，所以下一個議程之前咧，因為網上斷流咗，咁所以要接駁翻，所以大家稍等片刻。
And we're back. All right, thank you all for putting up with my small technical difficulties. Thank you to the Baby Opera House for helping out. Item 4, if we could all, I got a sensitive microphone in the corner. Madam Chair, you can resume the meeting.
All right, thank you very much. I do also want to point out that for our Chinese, Mandarin, Cantonese speaking members of the public, we do have an AI translation available. The screen, unfortunately, is only in the bottom quarter of that screen over there, to my left, but there is a AI generated translation that is available if there are members of the public who read Chinese. Also to aid in public comment, we have Leon Zhao to my left, who is happy to help translate. Leon, do you want to translate that?
大家好，頭先我哋個民主黨中央委員會嘅主席湯有麗咧，就想提醒一下大家咧，就係話，我哋係用呢個人工智能嘅翻譯係做字幕嘅，咁所以現場所有嘅英文咧，大家可以喺呢個大會嘅右手邊呢個視頻上面咧就睇到，雖然咧就只有1/4，但係大家可以如果係需要。聽即係睇得到究竟翻譯緊成個議程係翻譯咩嘅話咧，大家可以利用呢個人工智能嘅翻譯。另外咧，如果你想發言嘅話咧，而係只係用中文嘅話咧，咁我本人咧就會代表大會咧係幫大家發言嘅。
Are there members of the public that require any other language? Okay, thank you. Agenda item number 4. Representative from the Ruth Williams Opera House is here. Mr. Ellington.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Chair Tong and members of the esteemed San Francisco Democratic Party. It's such an honor to have you all in the space. I want to just first say thank you. You all have been here all month long, doing events with our small businesses, activating our 3rd Street corridor, much needed activity happening here on this side of town. I'm going to be brief because I know you all have a long meeting. As Chair Tong mentioned, my name is Theo Ellington. I serve as the executive director here at the Ruth Williams Opera House. And someone mentioned this earlier, but you all are literally sitting in history. This is the oldest theater in San Francisco, 1888. Our namesake, Ruth Williams, was a playwright and I'm gonna just look behind. There's a lot of activity out here. A playwright and activist. She stood up for public health, she stood up for housing, and brought a lot of resources to this area. In the 60s and 70s, she actually ran full productions here. We have obviously stood on the shoulders of many giants like Ruth Williams and continue our programming today. You can see us doing about 75 events a year. We do live productions. Go ahead.
Can we have a little bit of quiet here for the representative from our host? Okay, thank you.
Yes. Welcome to Baby Hunters Point. About 75 events a year. We run some marquee programs I want to tell you about that happen right here in this space. Tools of the Trade. The folks that you see work here are in a program that teaches them all the aspects of running an event, front of house, back of house, getting on-the-job training for event management. So we know San Francisco is hyper-focused on entertainment right now. We would love to see deeper connection between the folks who are doing training here and all the events happening across San Francisco. From Outside Land, Tola Fest, you name it. We are breeding the next generation of folks who are working in the event space. It's about 1,600 hours that we do per year. Also want to tell you about some of the marquee programs that we run. Our Afro-Latin Festival. As you know, there is a growing Latino population here in Baby Hunters Point. We put on a festival once a year that really bridges the gap between the Black and Latino community. We fly folks in from all across the world, all across the diaspora to play right here in this beautiful theater. Today you're seeing, obviously, our house lights on, but on the 30th of September, I invite you all out to another marquee program that we host called SF Sounds. We do, our version of Tiny Desk. It is a in real life experience where we bring artists to the middle of the floor, 175 seats, where it's really intimate, where folks put on headphones to hear a live mix of the actual songs that are playing. So we look forward to that on the 30th of September. We actually have another Afro-Latin festival on the 10th of October. So we invite you all out to that as well. I'll close with this. This place is very, very special for so many. And it really means a lot that you all are here. I ask that this is not the last time that we see you. We are on the southeast side of San Francisco, where we know that this is the last vestige of African Americans who live in San Francisco. We also know the growing population. I mentioned the Latino population. There's a growing Asian population on this side of town. So all of the work that you all are doing to activate downtown, all of the work that you are doing to activate other neighborhoods, we need that same energy here in Bayview and in District 10. So I'll stop there because I know you have a long meeting, but I really, really appreciate the time. And thank you all again for all the work you're doing.
Thank you, Theo. It's our honor and privilege to be here as members of the Democratic Party. I'd like to remind members of the public that this is one neighborhood of many on our Dems on the Move initiative. We have been traveling and moving our meeting from place to place since April of this year. We will have 2 more meetings this year, which we will go to other neighborhoods. Our next neighborhood is the Tenderloin in September, and then we'll round it out with visiting the Sunset in October. So this is the point at which we get to item number 5, which is general public comment. Before we begin, this general public comment will be run by Executive Director Esfandiari. If you have not submitted a card to speak and would like to speak, now is the time to do it. What I do want to emphasize, and I have emphasized this at every meeting since we passed our code of conduct, or new code of conduct, is that public comment is a time for the public to interact with the DCCC, to express your opinions, voice your concerns about any topic that may or may not be on our agenda. But what we will not tolerate is disrespectful language, name calling, in any regard, with respect to the sex, gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, physical status, race, color, ethnicity, national origin or ancestry, age, disability, health status, marital status, military or veteran status, a whole litany of things. Because what we want this to be is a place of open discussion, but not a place of disrespect. So if you are in violation of our code of conduct, I will ask you to leave the meeting so that we can continue the meeting in a respectful way, in a welcoming and friendly, safe, supportive, harassment-free way for all of our members, our employees, and members of the public. I know that the discussion we may have tonight may be heated, that people have very strong views on either side of the endorsement we are about to take, of your neighbors, your friends, and your fellow Democrats. Okay. With that, Executive Director Esfandiari, would you like to begin public comment?
All right.
Would you tell me how many cards we have?
We currently have 41 cards. So, how much time is the public comment limited to 1 hour or not? What are you doing?
We will allow everyone to make public comment, who wishes to make public comment. That has been the practice as part of Dems on the Move is to listen to everyone. Let's set the timer for 90 seconds.
All right, and where?
And if you
is the-
require interpretation, we will allow that to be doubled so that you may say that the interpretation is not counted.
Yes, so I'm gonna have Leon repeat that, just so it's translated, and then I am going to read off my instructions real quick. But just keep in mind that you're gonna wanna come up here to the podium, and that microphone is for public comment. And then when you have 30 seconds left on the clock, I will hold up this 30-second sign. So keep eye contact with me. And then when your time is up, I will hold up the time sign. And I ask that you please don't go over too much, because all I'll have to do at that point is just come over and kill the mic. I'd rather not do that.
現在正式嘅發言程序開始嘅時候咧，咁波伯咧就會即係叫大家名啦。咁當你聽到大家名嘅你個名嘅時候咧，你就喺中間呢個講台嗰個咪嗰度咁講嘢，你就係有90秒嘅時間。咁如果你我哋嘅主任咧就會計時㗎啦。咁如果你仲已經過咗30秒嘅話咧，你就佢就會遞呢個紙。咁如果係遞呢個 T 字嘅紙嘅話咧，就即係代表你嘅90秒已經講完，你就希望你馬上停止。多謝。
All right, and now for my formal instructions that's pre-written. If you would like to make public comment, please fill out a comment card available at the table where I am seated. I will call speakers in the order that I received cards. Please note that this body takes all public comment during this item. Each member of the public will have, that's called the chair, 90 seconds to address this committee. Associate members, including club presidents or chairs, members of the Democratic State Central Committee, Assembly District chairs, and regional directors will have double that time, or 3 minutes right now, to address this committee. I will keep time with my phone and hold up these pages that say 30 seconds and then time when your time has elapsed. Thank you in advance for your patience. And some of these were a little hard to read, so please thank you in advance for my attempt at writing down your name was. With that, let me go ahead and pull up my timer. I'm going to call the first 3 names. John Ma, followed by Marie Harabiel, and then Bruce Liang.
Good evening, my name is John Ma. I'm honored. I wanted to give an update. The public health battle against tobacco is decades old, with much success pioneered in San Francisco thanks to the DCCC. But big tobacco was handed a significant victory in July when the FDA authorized Virginia Tobacco and menthol-flavored Juul pods as a new tobacco product, largely ignoring the risks to children. In 2017, San Francisco Mayor Ed Lee signed a ban on menthol cigarettes and flavored tobacco products. R.J. Reynolds and Juul spent nearly $30 million in 2018 and 2019 in twin-fit efforts to overturn Mayor Lee's final public health legacy. Supervisors Walton and Dorsey led the efforts to stop Juul from selling products in San Francisco. But Juul, they struggled during the pandemic. They settled nearly 10,000 lawsuits for over $3 billion. But the recent FDA decision has almost brought them back on the brink of bankruptcy. Times are good for big tobacco. Global tobacco industry revenue in 2025 was estimated at $1 trillion globally. The tobacco industry giant was the largest corporate donor to the Trump campaign, and a former tobacco industry lobbyist is now White House chief of staff. To be clear, the FDA designated Juul as a new tobacco product, not as an approved smoking cessation therapy. A legal challenge is possible, and further research could overturn the authorization. Californians should notify the FDA of any improper claims implying that e-cigarettes are an approved smoking cessation treatment, and the California Attorney General of any unlawful sales of menthol Juul, as we still have a statewide ban. In a different world, Juul's product should have been fully evaluated to be approved for smoking cessation rather than allowing an extended profit-sharing experiment on youth. The story of Juul is setting a bad example, but this need not stand. San Francisco, once again, has the opportunity to change the course of this story. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you, Dr. Ma.
Up next, Marie Rapio, followed by Bruce Liang, and then Lisa Shu.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here on my own behalf, not on behalf of Connected SF. Connected SF is not taking a position on the recall. However, one of our groups, Sunset United Neighbors, which is in the Sunset, has taken a position on the recall, and they have endorsed the recall of Joel and Gardio. For that reason, I wanted to come up and speak on my own. I have not personally spoken on this to date, but at this point, I think it's important to share that in our polling, in the polling that Sunset United Neighbors has done, and that I've been privy to, 84% of the people in the poll voted for Joel and Gardio. 73% of people in the poll are supporting the recall. The people of the Sunset District, at least the people who took the poll, which was several hundred people, feel that they have been betrayed. And this is not something I wouldn't say to Joel's face. He and I have had conversations about this. His job is to represent the people of his district. And I think it's really important for everyone who's sitting here, who's about to vote on whether or not to endorse this, to recognize that his job is to represent the people. And if the people are saying that they do not feel represented, they actually feel betrayed, then I do think that is something you should really take to heart. What are you, if you don't support the recall, who are you supporting? Because the people of the Sunset don't feel supported. Thank you so much.
Up next, we have Bruce Liang, followed by Lisa Shu, then Amy Kai.
My name is Bruce Liang, but I don't speak good English. So can I speak Chinese?
Yes, Leon.
我就叫梁本善，係住響新界有差唔多40年啦。咁我對新界環境咧就好了解、好熟悉。而家咧，因為我都知道有個 recall 就話佢要罷免殷家立，咁我覺得呢個行動咧非常之錯誤嘅。點解咁講咧？因為我覺得你要罷免一個民選嘅官員，最緊一條就係如果除咗犯咗法係有呢個 corruption medicine 就可以罷免嘅。但係因為有不同嘅意見，咁樣罷免佢係完全唔啱嘅，因為真係嘥咗我哋納稅人嘅金錢，係咪？咁另時咧，我認為殷家立呢個 supervisor 做咗呢差唔多3年㗎，我覺得佢係幾好，佢係真係 take care 我哋新識嗰啲居民。點解咁講？因為佢做咗之後咧，我覺得佢對嗰個治安個環境就搞好咗，對新識嗰個環境咧就個綠化嗰邊搞咗，特別嗰啲 highway 嗰度 close 咗，我覺得係非常之好嘅 idea。點解咁講？因為佢響下一段響到 Daly City 嗰邊嗰條已經 close 咗，嗰條路已經好塞㗎啦。以前咧揸車嘅時候已經好塞埋，已經加塞，但係佢改變咗之後咧，我唔覺得佢一塞車，或者雖然你或者響呢個新竹玻璃有少少塞都唔理，但係仲可以通過改進，但係唔因為一個罷免行動就要罷免佢，所以我叫大家擦下眼睛，睇清楚嘅事實，要 say no to 嘅 A， 就反對罷免，我講咁多。
Hi, my name is Bruce Shane. I live in Sunset District for over 40 years, and I know Sunset District very well. I think there's a big mistake for recall the supervisor and Guardio, because the first principle is that if you want to recall a elect official, it had to be they either break the law or do something illegal or corruptions. But on this situation, it's just you did not agree with something that he done. That does not contribute to the effort to recall it. I also want to say that for Supervisor Engardio, who worked 3 years as the Sunset Supervisor, he did a lot of good things, in improving the public safety as well as closing the Great Highway as a park. That they want to make sure that I think the environment is getting better. They said that there's a little bit traffic congestions, but I don't feel it. So at the end, I just want to make sure that I urge everybody to oppose the recall. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, I have Lisa Shu, followed by Amy Tsai, I think, and then Albert, no last name. Lisa.
我叫 Lisa Shu， 我係山石居民。我覺得殷家立喺我哋呢個區做咗3年，做得非常好。一個治安問題，加強警力巡邏，清除所有嘅無業遊民。喺經濟上，佢發起咗山石嘅夜市，搞得效果非常好。 而且一屆比一屆好。第三，佢注重教育，將8年級嘅代數納入咗正常嘅教學課程，使我哋嘅孩子們喺高中嘅時候有新嘅更高嘅起點，有更好嘅教育基礎。同時，佢係支持羅湖高中擇優錄取嘅制度。第四，佢好關心我哋山石嘅幾支舞隊，將我哋中華文化融入咗美國社會。咁好一個 supervisor， 點解要罷免佢？原因就係一點，有嗰啲人利用咗 close 大公路呢一點，煽動有啲人嘅不滿，要將佢罷免。我覺得呢啲係浪費納稅人嘅錢。我哋一定支持殷家立，反對罷免佢。喺9月16號嘅選票上 ，No on A。我講埋，多謝各位。
Thank you for your comment.
Hi, my name is Lisa Shu. I support Supervisor Engardio. First of all, he improving since he's in the office, he have improving the whole city on homeless and crime. And the second is that he is actually promoting to have the Sunset Night Market that for 2 years is getting better and better. And then also he has he's been good on education, introduced 8th grade algebra as well as low on the merit-based admissions. And then the only thing that he has done for doing the recall is because that he supporting the close of the Great Highway, and people is using that as a political tool to actually remove him. We are strongly opposing it, and I want to urge everybody to make sure that on September 16, vote no on A. Thank you.
All right, up next, I have Amy Tsai, followed by Albert with no last name, followed by Julie Kwan. Amy Tsai.
我係舊金溪廣場舞隊靚隊蔡小霞，我喺新潟跳舞已經16年。殷家立上任之後對我哋舞隊好關心， 我哋舞隊經常參加社會各項活動。我最記得早一年我哋嘅廣場係好多民眾帶啲小朋友去嗰個廣場玩。咁廁所啦，我哋嘅廣場嘅廁所啦，共備有幾個月都唔能用得。但係我殷家立上任之後呢個月，我將嗰件事反映俾佢聽，佢立即同嗰啲部門商量，就係好快處理好嘅廁所俾大家用，係為民眾服務。我覺得佢係一個好嘅試探子。我支持殷家立，反對罷免殷家立。
Thank you.
My name is Amy Shai. I am the member of the San Francisco Dance Corps, and we has been, formed for a few years, and we are actually getting all the support from Supervisor Gadio, and he fully supporting us and for our work on including practicing and joining all the events. I just give example that a while ago we have, when we practice on dancing on the park, the bathroom has been broken, and we try to complain, but there's no follow up. And when we notify that Joe Engadio, he actually immediately going to fix that. So he's a person who actually will follow up and very delicate to support our activities. So I'm strongly supporting to oppose the recall on September 16th. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, I have Albert, no last name provided.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, my name is Albert, last name not provided. And I recently graduated from UCLA and I moved back with my parents to live at home until I can comfortably afford a place of my own. And I want to start by saying that the Chinese community is not a monolith. We don't all think the same and we don't all vote the same. My family is a working class Chinese family in Sunset, and we like Sunset Dunes. Well, I like it more than them, but to be fair, the park is a safe place to walk and exercise and spend time outdoors. And in the future, kids, parents, and grandparents, hopefully my parents become grandparents, and then they can teach my children how to ride a bike. And a reminder that the sunset belongs to everyone, and not just a few loud and angry voices. The recall claim that Joel's support of Sunset Dunes hurts working class companies simply isn't true. My dad and I had a real conversation with Joel. He came to our living room and talked for a whole hour with us. He finally convinced my dad to have the recall signs up on his house. And now he has a no on A sign on the window now. And he helped clear all the misinformation that was being spread around, such as WeChat. Joel's a good person, and the Sunset needs his leadership because he is forward-thinking and focused on helping young people like me stay in San Francisco. Please remember, Chinese voters are diverse. Many of us, including families like mine, see Sunset Dune and Joel's work good for the community. Vote to reject this wasteful and unnecessary recall on taxpayer money, because literally a year later, you could vote him out if you really don't like the guy. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert. Up next, Julia Kwan, followed by Albert Chow, and then Wong Peng Tan.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Julia Kwan. I'm a nurse, a former first responder, and a lifelong Sunset resident. I live in a multi-generational Cantonese-speaking working-class household here in District 4. Now, when the Great Highway was closed, it wasn't just inconvenient, it was dangerous. As a first responder, I know every second counts in an emergency. Cutting off our major north to south routes slows down ambulances, fire engines, and police. These delays can mean the difference between life and death. For families like mine, this impact is personal. We drive my grandparents, my popo and my yaya to Kaiser, and what used to be a simple trip is now stressful and uncertain. Parents driving their children to school across the city are spending more and more time in traffic and less time with their kids. These aren't just abstract numbers, these are real lives disrupted. What hurts most is the lack of respect that we have been shown by our supervisor. Engardio never held a single community meeting in the Sunset before forcing this change. Many of us only found out that this would be on the ballot by Senator Scott Wiener's Twitter. That is not transparency, that is betrayal. And while we struggle, Joel has nearly taken $500,000 from wealthy tech donors like Chris Larson, Jeremy Supplement, and John Wolfius, people who don't live here and don't share our struggles. So this to us means that he answers to them, not us who live in this district. Over 10,000 of us signed this recall petition. 80% have been gathered by volunteers and neighbors talking to neighbors. This is democracy in action. So tonight I ask you to vote yes on A because Joel has endangered our safety, divided our community, and lost our trust. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Up next, Albert Chow. Followed by Wong Peng Ten and then Selena Chu.
Hello, Chair Tom and the DCCC. My name is Albert Chow. I'm a native of San Francisco and a longtime resident of Sunset. It's been a year and a half, and the anger is still here. Why is that? It's because he betrayed us. He told us that he stood in his debate and said that he would support the compromise. He said that at the Irish Cultural Center in front of 1,000 people, well, 500 people. I exaggerate a little bit, sorry. But anyway, the point is, he did say that. And then he has turned himself to sell his vote to the highest bidder. And that's been what he's been doing. He's had these supporters that pay for his political machine to fight us that are on the ground, we the Sunset residents, and we have, all of us, some 500 to 600 volunteers, keep pounding to get him out of office. Why? Because he crafted this betrayal when he he had people come to a select few come to his office and speak to him to craft this bill to do Proposition K. And then he deleted this meeting. We have proof of this. He doesn't walk the streets of D4 anymore because he's afraid someone will shame him. He gets booed out of events that he shows up at. I've seen this 3 or 4 times. Joe spends his precious money on Great Highway when the city suffers from a huge deficit. Our neighbors have been changed. Our neighborhood has been changed. Our people have been factionalized. Who would vote for someone like this if you knew this is what type of person he would be? I have to say, Joel Engardio has to go.
Thank you for your comment. Next, I have Wong Peng Ten.
Hello, everyone. My name is Guang Peng Tam. I kind of stand on the viewpoint on, can vote no endorsement, let the Sunset decide. It's because, human is complex. As a leader can have mistakes. However, it's the thing that it's people with people again. And he has his friends that he realized, and then their friends realized something was wrong. Maybe it's kind of turning back on things. Well, I want to say shortly, because it's all about job and because I am not a political person yet, because I'm just a paraeducator and then moved on. Well, I can know myself if I can recall or I can let my job out just to be what's right, I will be just like this man. I can be. Meaning I'm not fear of recall, I am fear of doing bad things. I follow and let my special needs, the individual live his best life and long life.
Thank you for your comments. Up next, I have Selena Chu, followed by Kathy W, and then Lisa RJs. RJs? Selena.
So do I need to tell you the recall is a democratic process in between regular elections to restore power to the people? I don't have to tell you. some of you were in other recalls with me and also with Joe and Gardy. So this is not something new, right? I don't like recalls. We tried to suppress it last year when Joe and Gardy told me that us at the at the Irving Street meeting with the merchants, after we found out from the news this is happening, he was gonna listen, right? Negotiate, but that turns out to be just another trust that he broke. So a 4-year term is not a blank check. Public service is a responsibility, not entitlement. You cannot feel entitled to that 4-year and betray your constituents in District 4. We were not consulted before that compromise was removed. For him to say, oh, the supervisors are agreeing to remove this compromise, they're gonna turn it into a park. Let them do it. Is it okay for you, Joe Gardio, my supervisor, to end this compromise earlier? No, I think that was an excuse. So standing with me are almost 11,000 voters in my Sunset District that signed a petition in a few months. Over 80% are gathered by volunteers like myself. That means something. We're the first. Who can you find in this city actually have that many volunteers? That shows you. So I'm hoping you to give you this chance to stand with the community, stand with us, vote yes on A or no endorsements. Let us decide. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, up next we have Kathy W, followed by Ms. Arvis, followed by Heather Dees.
Hello, my name is Kathy, as we heard from him. I am District 7 resident. And in the past, I was a volunteer twice of Joe Ingardio's running for District 7 supervisor, which he all lost. Joe went to 24th Street in Tarabell Police Station Community Room. I asked him, what is the backup plan if there is emergency, if there is earthquake, if there is something? When you close Great Highway, you didn't even communicate to the community. So what do you have? Did you do research? What is your number? How are you going to do if there is an emergency to block the 19th Avenue? He told me, I can talk to the Muni and I'll give you the number. So that is not a way to handle things. You cannot just put the ballot without communicating to people. You didn't listen. You are not listening to the community. You are not supporting. You're talking about he has the night market. I was on that night market. I heard a lot of bad things about the night market from the street of the store. People don't like it. Okay, so as District 7, I want to tell you, we share 19th Avenue with District number 1, District number 4, District number 7. Now, traffic is driven back. People cannot go through 19, they go to 18th Avenue, they go to 20th Avenue. That create a lot of big traffic for other streets. I want you to understand when you do something, you need to think about it thoroughly. You need to put in a research before you make a decision like that. Thank you.
Next, I have Ms. Arvis, Heather Dees, and Griffin. When you're ready.
Hi, good evening, members of DCCC. Thanks for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. My name is Lisa Argis. I'm the principal officer on the committee to recall.
Sorry, Lisa. Ms. Argis, could you just speak into the microphone?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
you. Perfect.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. My name is Lisa Argis. I'm a principal officer on the committee to recall Joe Ingardeo. I wasn't going to speak tonight, but last night someone sent me a link that Supervisor Ingardeo posted to his official Instagram account. And then someone else sent me another link of the same video sent on his X account. Both posts were the video. featuring Supervisor Guardia, where he lied about a statement that he made at a public meeting. How do I know that he lied? My partner was at the meeting. He heard it directly. But more concerning about this video was that Mr. Guardia took an opportunity to intimidate and dox volunteers, most of whom are his constituents, for exercising their democratic right to hold him accountable and remove him from office through the process of recall. Here is a photo lineup of volunteers. I'm the third row, third photo from the left. A lot of other people in this room are also in this photo. So many of these people are my neighbors, they're private citizens, they're not public figures. And in Guardio's August 13 DCCC interview, he said he espoused democratic values. When asked by Josh Arce if he survived the recall, how would he interact with his constituents that opposed him?
Thank you for your comment.
Joel responded respectfully and professionally. So I ask you, does this represent the democratic values we hold ourselves to?
Thank you for your comment.
Let this report.
Thank you. Next, Heather Davies, followed by Rick Lee, and then Mr. Su, from the Chinese American Democrat Club.
Good evening. I'm Heather Davies. I'd like to expand upon what Lisa Arles said. I am participating in the recall because I feel strongly that Joel has betrayed us by not doing his job to inform his constituents about consequential policy in development within the city. Since he's been in office, he hasn't had a single meeting about upzoning to explain it to his constituents or get our feedback. And I was also shocked to see that I was on the photo that he put on his campaign ad yesterday. A sitting government official who is violating the Voter Rights Act of 1965. According to the state regulations, it just disappeared. It is a felony to use tactics of coercion or intimidation to induce or compel a person to vote or refrain from voting, or to vote or refrain from voting for any particular person or measure at any election. According to the city interpretation of Section 11B of the Voting Rights Act, it broadly prohibits intimidation, threats, coercions, or attempts to do so throughout every stage of the voting process. This election is currently underway. People are voting, including registering the votes, casting a vote, counting votes. It protects not only voters, but those who help them to facilitate voting or registration. It includes conduct that includes intimidating voters by targeting them for their race, national orientation, surveilling, harassing them, doxing them, or invasions of their privacy. I will be filing a complaint with the State Board of Elections, as well as with the city, under my rights, violation of my rights in the Voting Rights Act of 65.
Thank you for your comment. Up next, I have Griffin Lee, followed by Mr. Su, followed by Wilson Chu.
Good evening, DCCC, Griffin Lee here, speaking on behalf of myself. I do work with Connected SF, but I'm here on behalf of myself and supporting Sunset United Neighbors, District 4. Joel Guardio is an unethical supervisor. Example, he arranged a meeting with Lucas Lux from his calendar to try and hide the fact that he was being influenced by political, corrupt individuals in our city. This is not necessarily all about the park, although he can maintain his own park in his own district. He can't even get signs for bicyclists and pedestrians to follow clearly. He has lacked the trust from his community. He has lacked the trust from the Chinese community. and I support the recall 110%. As a passionate San Franciscan here supporting Son D4, I hope you all listen and support the recall tonight. And I do want to say I do respect some of the folks on the other side tonight. I do respect them. But Joel Guardia lacks respect for his own district. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Up next, I have Wilson Chu, the Chinese American Democratic Club, followed by Wilson Chu, followed by Jackie Zhen.
在座嘅各位首長嘉賓，大家好，我係叫做潘秋蘇，我叫蔡醫生，個新聞喺嗰度，sorry，那個。
Move a little bit closer.
OK，我係蔡律師，我叫潘昌樹。 今天我好高興參加呢個會，係咪？多謝能夠安排到我哋嘅發言，係咪？我今日所講嘅係咩問題咧？就關於呢個海傍公路關閉嘅事，我哋大家都好有意見，係咪？所以我哋要求咧，我又因為年紀大啦，所以有啲嘢就唔係好記得好清楚，我哋按照呢個講係嘛？ 因為好多街坊、好多親戚都係住喺新日落區嘅，我哋幾十年就習慣咗。不過海傍公路咧，就係人來人往啊，行慣咗，係咪？一方面就方便咗好多。而家如果關閉咗咧，好多時咧就扭橫慣啦。一個就唔習慣，第二個咧增加好多麻煩，所以我哋啲親戚朋友好或者咩好，我哋傾起呢個問題時咧，大家認為咧又唔應該關閉，一關閉對大家咧幾十年啦。 都好似造成一個好大嘅壓力，係咪？咁所以又起現一個情況。第二個情況，希望民主黨咧要支持個 A 提案，係咪？都知道佢哋呢個能夠保持呢個區嘅人區嘅所需要嘅係嘛？係嘛？最緊要需要呢個地方係嘛？行人來人往啊，車出人入啊，就唔使搞到咁緊張，係咪？另外我哋主要就要我哋反對嘅第一區個市場時，因間樓。 係咪啊？佢就唔支持呢個嘅，所以我要反對佢。有個牌咧，我哋係有呢個牌咧，我哋要反對佢。呢個差啲中文嘅，呢個英文係咪？所以我哋咧大家好多唔見咗我一個，好多街坊同我反映，係我代表大家。OK， 好啊，唔該晒，拜拜。
Since I got his script, so here goes. I always sit down.
Mai is Sue, my daughter and relatives are working and living in Sunset District. They are too busy and far away to come. Since the Great Highway was closed, they have been visiting less and less, which is so disappointing. We on the street all hope that the Democrats will support Proposition A, or choose not to endorse it, allowing Sunset voters to choose whether to recall the supervisor. We have been Democrats for decades, leading the Chinese community to elect you as the San Francisco and California Democrat Party committees. If you go against the wishes of the majority of Chinese, we will consider not electing you, or even quitting the party.
Up next, I have Wilson Chu, followed by Jackie Zhen, and then Chase Anderson. Mr. Wilson, go ahead.
Dear Nancy Tong, members of the San Francisco Democratic Central Committee, and fellow Democrats. Tonight we're here because something is broken in San Francisco, and that something has a name, and that is Supervisor Joel Guardia. He knew exactly how the residents felt about the closure of the Great Highway. But what did he do? He concocted a plan to close it anyways, then tried to wash his hands of responsibility by deflecting the blame onto the voters of San Francisco. That's not leadership. That is deception. That is betrayal. Now I want to speak to something directly to a painful truth to many of us. Time and again, candidates in the city has come to the Chinese American Democratic Club and to the Chinese community when they needed votes. They come when they need campaign volunteers. They come when they want to win. But when it comes to policy, when it comes to listening to our concerns and our voices, too often we are ignored. And Joel Ligardio has followed the same pattern. He embraced our community when it was convenient for him and turned his back on us when he got into office on the issue of Prop K. There were 4 other supervisors that signed on to that proposition. Some of them are friends, and they have yet to speak with us. This is an example. This is a systemic failure.
Thank you for your comment. Thank you. Appreciate it. Up next, I have Jackie Jen, Chase Anderson, and then this one.
Hello， 大家好，我係 Jackie。我同一朋友喺入區工作同生活嘅，咁殷家立係為伴咗我哋。佢講話 K 係案係一件單一嘅事件，但係日立區嘅紅圍華人社區過去16個月咧，為呢件事情咧，真係喺度紛爭。我哋曾經好辛苦為佢助選啊，即係幫佢競選嗰個大社區。但係而家我哋唯一嘅重大嘅訴求，佢而家當係耳邊風。咁而家前3藩市嘅華人社區都投票反對 K 鞋案，超過一半嘅罷免簽名都係華人，大多數嘅華人都係支持罷免。你哋今日點樣選，我哋會記得。多謝。
Again, I got a script, so people.
My name is Jackie. My friends and I live and work in the Sunset District. Joel Engardio has betrayed us. He claims Proposition K was just a single issue, but for the past 16 months, the Sunset and Chinese communities have been caught in conflict over it. We worked hard to help him get elected, but when we made our one major request, he turned a deaf ear. The entire Chinese community across San Francisco voted against Prop K. Over half of the recall signatures came from Chinese residents. The majority of Chinese voters support the recall. However you vote tonight, we will remember for a long time.
Next, I have Chase Anderson, Tim Reyes, the last name was a little hard to read, but from the Northern California Carpenters Union, and Sue Wong.
Hello, DCCC and my fellow Democrats. My name is Chase Preston Anderson. I know I come here.
Chase, a little bit slower and speak into the microphone.
Absolutely.
Please.
Hello, DCCC and my fellow Democrats. My name is Chase Preston Anderson. I know I come here tonight to speak. I came here to inform myself as a young college student. And I'm here to urge you to vote to endorse no on A. Right now, as a city and as a nation, we face considerable challenges from sky-high prices, attacks on minority communities, and a president who does not respect the institution of this nation. On Prop 50, which is being voted on in just 69 days, cuts to public transportation that students like me at San Francisco State University rely on, and so much more. But instead of focusing on issues that are affecting everyday San Franciscans, who are focused on partisan infighting. Someone to recall someone who is trying to think about local businesses and try to revive a beautiful part of our city. Supervisor Joel was being bold and challenging preconception because he knows if we want to revive the greatest city in the world, we have to try something new. To me, this does not constitute a recall. It's a waste of taxpayer dollars when we should be focused on the real issues at hand. As an 18-year-old junior in college, I've lived in many parts of the state, and there's no better place than San Francisco. And I believe Supervisor Joel is trying to make it even better. To my fellow Democrats, I encourage you to vote to endorse no on A. And so we can start focusing on the fight that matters. Focus on fights that are affecting everyday San Franciscans, because when we stand together as San Francisco Democrats, nothing can stop us. So I urge you guys to vote to support Supervisor Joel. Thank you, and let's actually do the fight that matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Chase, for your comments. Up next, and I'm gonna apologize, kind of read this, Tim Ray.
My name is Tim Reich. I'm the field director of the Northern California Carpenters Union. Thank you, Chair Khan, members of DECCC for allowing me to speak. I'm speaking for our organization. We are firmly against the recall, a no on A. It's a waste of taxpayer money. There are elections that people get elected to every 4 years. They get voted in and voted out. I'm a San Francisco native, and personally, I have my own feelings on the Great Highway, but I would not ask for a recall over one issue like that. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Up next, I have Sue Wong, followed by Bayard Tong, followed by Pat L. Ms. Sue Wong.
Hello，各位好，即係佢成日走去老人中心關心啲老人，整多啲公園俾你哋咁。我哋話我哋啲老人腳都唔行得咁遠，周圍都有公園。咁佢即係人哋翻工嗰啲成日塞車，即係塞到咧，有啲都唔想做喎。話我都要提早退休啦，日去又塞1個鐘，翻又塞1個鐘，翻到機場嗰度又要揸車，真係冇法子再做落去啊！要提早退休啦。依家你開咗又俾啲單車行，又俾啲人喺度玩，已經 accident 撞咗啲唐人兩夫婦入醫院，又撞咗細蚊仔，咁你即係希望你哋快啲睇下點關咗佢啊！唔好再即係整到咁危險對啲人，即係俾翻做工嗰啲人，即係攞嚟用嗰條路啊！因為你靠納稅做工嗰啲人納稅嚟養你哋，唔係淨係嗰幾個老人啊，都行唔喐啊，留翻邊個去咁遠呀？希望你哋即係快啲關閉咗，唔好再害咁多老人細蚊仔。
Okay, my name is Joe. Joe has been coming to us and talk about he care about senior. He's gonna build a lot more senior centers, but we are old, and there's not much about activities that we need. We don't need that much seniors, but what he did is like closing the highway, which is not good for the people working. So if you only care about the seniors and do not worry about the people who actually stuck in traffic for hours to work, then those people might as well just retire early. So we are actually want to make sure that we fix these problems on that, because senior has been hit by cars, and now it's like it's too many bike lanes that occupy. We have almost getting nowhere. The traffic is really bad, so we want to make sure that you fix this problem. And we guess she didn't say that, but I guess she's supporting the recall.
Thank you. Up next, Bayard Tong, followed by Pat L, followed by Josephine Guy.
Just a moment, Member Ho indicated that there was an additional part of the translation that was missed.
Yeah, it was, she opened, hi, thank you for speaking. She opened with our needs heard, and we can't walk that far anyways, and you think that you're doing a great thing for seniors by building a park, but there's parks everywhere, and we need to be driven to the park anyways. And sorry, I just thought that. I got that.
Up next, we have Bayard Tong. Go ahead and be ready.
Good evening, Chair Nancy Tong, DCCC. It's my privilege to stand before you. I'm a San Francisco native, 4th generation. Great-grandpa came in 1903 to be a cook for her family in Pacific Heights. But the more important thing here is I want to ask you to entrust the voters in the Sunset to make the decision. And the DCCC, I believe, is standing up for voter registration, voter participation, voter education. So help us be a part of that. Let the Sunset voters decide. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment, Pat L. All it said was Pat L. All right, there we go.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak here tonight. My name is Pat. I've lived or worked in San Francisco for over 50 years. And as a Sunset District 4 resident, I've never felt so betrayed. Our supervisor, Joe Engardio, says that is one issue, but he never gave us a chance to move past this issue. My entire family voted and helped elected him into office, but he ignored us, our concerns. He never had a town hall or obtained community input from District 4 residents before he put Prop K on the November 2024 election. The Chinese community feels betrayed, and we will remember this for a long time. I really want you to vote yes on supporting the recall. But if you would not vote yes, I urge you to please not vote at all and abstain. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your comment. Josephine Gao.
My name is Josephine Zhao. Agency of 77,000 Sunset residents were removed by the supervisor on Prop K being secretly put in last minute. We still bear the consequence 16 months afterwards. Major accident happened right in front of my eyes on Lincoln and Sunset Boulevard 41st, chain of lake, cars smashed into each other, roll around, come down. We pay for what you do with our life and blood. You may be his friend. You may think that Joe was put in circumstance. You may think that may be better for the whole city. But did you think about what happened on the ground? Did you exercise your agency? Joe didn't. This is a time for you to exercise your agency. You are elected by these people. Sunset voted for you if you're on the west side. This Valley, Portola, Bayview, right here, voted for you if you're on the east side. CADC supported many of you, even though some of you may are not on the same side. But we are all advocating for our community. Let the Sunset decide. No endorsement if you can't vote yes. Why you let Sunset decide? Because Sunset people has a value of respect. We respect our land, our surrounding, our old people, our ancestors.
Thank you for your comments.
When we make a mistake, we own it up. But Joe, did you do that?
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
This next one I started with, so you're gonna have to tell me. Jen Pavita? Jen P. Anyone? All right, we'll come back to that if we can. Up next, I have Pamela Holiday, followed by Rosa Shields, followed by Chris Nardi. Pamela Holiday. All right, Rosa Shields.
Hello, good evening. Talking about a separate issue. and the one you're hearing a lot about tonight. I'm Rosa Shields of the San Francisco Labor Council. I'm the political director. We represent 100,000 union members and 100 unions here in the city and county of San Francisco. Our Labor Council was very disappointed to hear about recent actions by elected members of this body at the state party, removing a resolution to ban ICE from collaborating with local law enforcement over license plate information. The San Francisco Labor Council has reaffirmed our commitment to sanctuary and to SF sanctuary protecting immigrants through our actions and our words. And we hope that the members of this body, as representatives of San Francisco residents, workers, and our immigrant communities who make the city run, do not circumvent sanctuary city policy. Now is not the time to roll back protections on immigrant workers. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Kristen Hart, followed by Dudley Campos, followed by Kim Allen. Kristen, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Kristen Hardy. I am a San Francisco native of 30 plus, however many years old I look. I am also a city and county rank and file member at San Francisco General for 14 years as one of 4 birth and death clerks here in San Francisco. But I am also a leader and the newly re-elected vice president of SEIU 10-1 that represents over 16,000 public sector workers, and I represent about 2,000 plus nonprofit workers as well. I am actually in here as well supporting and actually really disheartened as I'm here to speak about my disappointment for our elected members here of the San Francisco DCCC that we've elected to support, that actually elected to support the removal of the resolution from the state council. And we are not with the backing out of the resolution that shares data of members that we actually represent and members that live in the communities that elected you guys to represent them and to make sure that they're safe. San Francisco is a sanctuary city. We represent a vast minority of immigrants, and we expect that everybody elected here to represent and to support these folks are going to do what they're paid or elected to do. So with that being said, we are totally against you guys not supporting the resolution that was put forth of the non-sharing of license plate information with ICE. I see that my time is up, but I also need to get this last in, that labor supports and reaffirms sanctuary for San Francisco as a city, our labor workers, and our members that we represent. Thank you.
Next. Pause. Really, do you want to recess it all or do you want to speak on?
Sorry, how long have we been going?
It's 8 o'clock.
How many more speakers?
It's been 50.
How many more speakers are there?
20 as of right now.
Okay, I think we should continue with public comment and then break after public comment.
All right.
So to be respectful of people who are here waiting.
Up next, Dudley Campos.
Okay, thank you. Leslie, everyone. My name is Zelmi Campos. I live in San Francisco, but I prefer to speak in Spanish. Thank you so much. I prefer to speak in Spanish. It's my first language. Okay. Thank you, Rosa, for helping me translate. Okay. También soy activista y pertenezco a la Junta Ejecutiva de la Unión 2015, el sello 2015, y trabajo para la autoridad pública.
I'm on the executive board of SAU 2015, and I work I'm a home health care worker.
Creo que la mayoría de ustedes han visto por la televisión la caricatura de Tom y Jerry.
I think a lot of you have seen the cartoon Tom and Jerry.
Es una simple caricatura llena de ingenuidad y nos hace reír, ¿cierto?
It's a simple cartoon that makes us laugh, right?
Sin embargo, en la realidad, yo creo que ninguno de ustedes se ha puesto en el cuerpo y la mente de un ratón cuando es perseguido por su depredador.
However, I don't think any of you have ever been in the position of a mouse or a rat when they're being chased by a predator.
En la psicología del gato, dicen los expertos que la mayoría de ellos mata al ratón no por hambre, sino por diversión.
And what psychologists say is that the cat doesn't kill the mouse just out of hunger, but rather to play with it.
Pero estamos hablando de que es una especie de animales.
But we're talking about animals.
Nosotros como seres humanos no cabe la idea de por qué perseguirnos por diversión o por hambre.
And us as humans, we shouldn't and can't understand why the people would persecute us for fun or for hunger.
Ni mucho menos perseguir una serie de números en una placa para poder atrapar a personas que trabajan y tienen familia.
Much less persecute people via license plate numbers and a series of numbers who have families and who work.
¿Por qué entonces perseguir continuamente a las personas que no están haciendo ningún daño a esta sociedad?
Why then continuously persecute people who aren't doing any harm to the city?
Me gustaría, yo creo que debiéramos gastar nuestras energías y nuestras fuerzas en perseguir a las personas que matan, como hoy en Minneapolis, las personas que matan a los niños y dejan heridos a los demás son los que debieran de ser perseguidos.
Maybe we should spend our energy persecuting and chasing people who kill, like today in Minneapolis, people who kill children and who hurt others.
Es por eso que en esta tarde yo les invito a usar la virtud de la razón,
That's why today I invite you all to use your reason,
del pensamiento y de la calidad humana.
of the human race and of all people.
No estamos a favor de la persecución de los seres humanos,
We shouldn't be in favor of persecuting human beings,
de las personas que trabajan y pagan sus impuestos,
the people who work and pay their taxes,
que tienen familia.
who have families.
Dios les bendiga a todos.
God bless you all.
Up next, I have Ken L, followed by David Davies, followed by Grace Locke. 1 second, please. I don't have time for 2 seconds.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Hi, my name is Ken Lustenberger. I'm a member of SEIU Local 1000. I'm not here to speak on behalf of my union, though. I have done so in the past, but I here am as a friend of labor. I do stand with my fellow colleagues in SEIU in maintaining the city as a sanctuary city, and it's just disgraceful to hear that a measure was denounced on immigration like that. But I'm also here for the Engardio recall. I pledge my support to the recall as a member of District 3 because I see this not as just a closure of a park and literally the bypass of many of his constituents, but this is about corruption. This is about taking graft from billionaire class and putting it upon a working class community. And the fact that he disregards his constituents long after he made his decision is telling. I ask this DCCC that are you going to sit back and witness corruption firsthand, or are you going to do something about it? I remind this body that I have helped campaign for some of you who sit here today on this panel. I have a network of members across the state of California who I interact with on a daily basis. And our fire has also spread to Fairfax, who is now conducting a raid call of the vice mayor and mayor there. So we are not done here. I ask in the interest of posterity that we end corruption in this city, and that by doing that, you endorse this recall. Thank you.
David Davies, followed by Grace Locke. David Davies, are you okay? All right, Grace Locke and David Davies. Go ahead, please.
Hello，我想講中文。大家好，我係 Grace，我係第4區嘅個居民嚟嘅，新西區第4區嘅居民。我住咗新西區已經有超過40年㗎啦。 點解我今次會參加罷免呢個殷家立咧？因為殷家立佢係我哋個市參事，咁佢開始即係參選嘅時候咧，我哋都好支持，即係都會有幫助佢係參選咁樣咧。希望選到一個好嘅 supervisor 出嚟，即係幫我哋嘅社區嗰度咧係做好多嘅為社區嘅市民做事。但係咧，即係最大嗰個影響對我哋今次咧就係關咗呢個 Great Highway，因為之前嗰個 Great Highway 佢係7日都有開嘅，咁後來咧就係星期六同埋星期日週末呢2日，咁嗰陣時咧係好多人都唔會話有反對，因為咧大家都明白可以星期六、星期日，因為唔係話趕住要翻工啊、接細路仔啊咁樣，咁都即係可以。但係咧，佢自從刪咗1至5，即係總共就變咗7日。咁亦都影響咗好多翻工放工接細路仔嘅家長，特別咧就係Richmond 區嘅嗰邊，因為 Richmond 區咧佢嗰邊翻咗之後咧，佢要兜過去金門公園，再出翻去 Lincoln Boulevard 咁樣嚟到行，亦都影響到Sunset Boulevard嘅車亦都係多咗。再壞嘅咧就係48 Avenue 近住Great Highway嗰幾條嗰個即係。人民嗰個屬於係嗰個市區嗰度咧，因為嗰度係屬於嗰啲居民住嘅地方，好多 stop sign 影響啲車唔可以開快，咁同時咧亦都係太多車嘅話咧，啲人咧嗰個揸車咧就會好唔開心啊，好憤怒。咁我亦都希望咧係做呢個義工嘅時候咧，希望大家投票呢度係。
Hello, my name is Grace Lai. I live in the Sunset for 40 years, and I support Joe Engadio when he first ran the District Court Supervisors, and hope that he can do something better to improve on Sunset. But however, now he supporting the close of Great Highway, and we're very disappointed because it used to be the Great Highway has been open 7 days. A week, and even if it begin to close down for weekend, it still will work out because the weekends there's less traffic, people using the freeways, particularly the people who work in Richmond. Now, if it's closed all the time, Richmond residents have to go through the park to the 19 Avenues and Lincoln, and later on with about the other 48, 47 avenues, which is a residential area with lots of stop signs. So we would like to support yes or nay.
My name is David Davies, and I'm a resident of District 4, and I'm a lifelong Democrat. I always voted for the best candidate, just happened the best candidate was always a Democrat. Prop A is about one issue. Joel is right about that. It's about corruption. It's about someone who's a candidate, took one position, and then did something entirely different. It's about a candidate who has meetings that somehow disappear from his calendar, a public record, and then blames an intern. The buck actually doesn't stop with the intern. It's about a candidate who takes big money. It's funny how his position changes and aligns with large donations. It's about a politician who has utterly lost the trust of his constituents in the communities within his district. Simply put, it's taking one position and taking big money and moving to that position of the big money donors. Don't do what is easy here. Do what is right. You know what's right. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. My next three are Elaine Trennan, Whitney Fung, and then Susan Piper. Elaine Trennan.
大家好啊，黃君好我用中文講比較方便啲我已經退休，但係咧我最唔同意就係佢刪咗嗰個居委會，佢整到我好唔方便。我一個禮拜要過去 Richmond 4次到5次，今日我每一次去做運動咧，去搞到我由呢個 Lincoln Way 嗰度41街過去 Richmond， 啲車流滿長，even 36街又係成日塞車，19街人塞車。有一次咧，佢哋有個演唱會，佢整到我轉入佢個拍又轉唔到。我要朝頭早6點半起身，就運19街嗰度去走過去 Richmond 嗰度。哇！如果你遲咗去啲車猛咁塞，係早1個鐘頭去做運動。所以我有一次就喺呢個聖路舍翻嚟300字，總共19街嗰度塞咗45分鐘嘅車。我越諗越嬲。一定要離開做人家，因為呢個人咧係第4區，係我哋選出嚟嘅。點解你唔聽我哋嘅聲音？你要係咁做，你做到成日塞車，我哋老年人我哋都驚啦。過馬路啲車去入我哋嘅市區內嘅，佢有冇幫我哋諗到呢啲啊？我所講就係呢啲最重要。希望你哋嘅背書，即係若果你唔可以選舉。唔可以投票啦，你就唔好背詩，俾我哋新識啲人嚟做決定。因為我所有啲朋友鄰居個個都好嬲，最慘就係嗰啲翻工一族嘅，次次都塞車19街，你哋可以去19街度睇，even喺 Irving 嗰條車又係成日塞車，你話激唔激氣啊？呀，多謝你哋啊！希望你哋。
Hello, my name is Ling. I'm very disappointed and angry about the closing of the Great Highway because I have to go to Richmond District for workout 4 times a week, and it's all the traffic jams on 36th Avenue and 19 Avenues. And one extreme example is that I have to go to Richmond on one day. I have to wake up at 6:30 in the morning to go to drive through the Golden Gate Park and the traffic jam. And another time is I come back from San Jose that it takes me additional 45 minutes. So this is very disappointing and angry, and we wish you to support the Prop A, or at least no endorsement, and let the Sunset District voters to decide. Thank you.
Thank you. I do realize we are getting late in the evening, and we have quite a number of elders here who would like to make public comment, would like to make sure that they get their turn before they feel it's too late for them to stay. So if you consider yourself an elder, I would invite you to come and make public comment by standing at the podium, and we will take your comment first.
Okay, the way we're going to do this so that I can actually make sure there's no duplicates is that you're going to give me your name when you get to that microphone. And if I've already called you, then I'm going to ask you to sit down. And if you haven't called already, then I'm going to rearrange my list here so that this is in order for our records. So just go,
Susan, I think you were next there, right? Yes. Susan, you can be next.
Go ahead and line up behind Susan Pfeiffer here. And if you put your name in the public comment card and you're consider yourself a senior citizen, go ahead and get in line. Repeat this expression.
Okay. I'm your commercial break.
One second.
Let's make sure we have repeat this expression.
OK，我知道時間，而今晚已經好夜㗎啦。咁由於呢個 當中咧參加呢個會議嘅人咧有好多係長者咧，咁佢哋知道咧太熱就唔係幾好啦。咁但係咧亦都有好多人踴躍發言嘅。咁所以如果你填咗呢個卡係要發言嘅話，而未發言嘅話咧，而你覺得自己係有需要長者係希望優先排隊嘅話咧，就請喺 Susan 後面咧就排隊。咁咧當Bob 咧就會嗌你個名嘅時候咧，就會俾年長者係優先嘅，所以年長者係趕住想早啲講發言嘅話咧，就請大家喺後面。
Yeah, just form a line behind Susan. Yeah.
Susan's old too.
Get behind, yes, I am a senior, certainly, I'm certifiable.
When you're ready, Susan.
Okay, and I'm the commercial break because I'm only going to talk briefly about Prop A at the end. But I'm here because I spent most of the day, I have Zoom but today from a webinar with Cover California about the upcoming open enrollment. I was going to go into some of that tonight, but I will do that in the next meeting because it's going to be frightening and we're going to need to be proactive. But I also wanted to talk about Prop 50, which is coming up, where the volunteers in California, the Central Committee, the State Party, we are running phone banks and canvassing. If you don't know what Prop 50 is, it's the redistricting in California to battle what Donald Trump is doing in Texas and other states. We have to step up and fight. And I applaud Governor Newsom for fighting back. We're the only state that's doing that. So we have been phone banking for weeks with Speaker Pelosi on other issues, and we've been calling voters to ask them to contact their member of Congress. We're going to be pivoting over. And so there will be two major phone banks in the Bay Area, mostly the same days, different hours. Speaker Pelosi is working with the LA Grassroots HQ. They are running them, and the Bay Area Coalition, which is about 60 organizations in Northern California and beyond, are also doing them. We'll probably be doing the same with different lists. I encourage you to sign up for one of them. We are going to be talking to voters and explaining to them what the issue is and asking them to vote no on it. And I know the County Central Committee will also be sponsoring some of that. This has come up so quickly. We are all going to be working together. We'll all find our own path and we'll do it together. I think the canvassing in San Francisco will be through this organization, but we're still waiting to hear. The reason we are doing this locally is we are contacting low propensity voters. We have to have everyone vote. And there are tons of people who only vote for president. And we.
Yes. Really? Really? Would you tell us that? Yes.
So we need to make sure they know about this and that they vote when they get their ballots. Last week, I wanted to also thank, just a couple of people who phone banked. That was okay. On Prop A, just very quickly, I live on the Great Highway, a half block from Noriega. I have not decided how I'm voting yet.
Stop yelling.
I am one of the voters here. I do not believe in recalls, but I know Joel got elected by supporting previous ones. So I'm still making a decision on this. Okay.
Everybody, let's be respectful, please. Thank you. And Executive Director Esfandiari, you can direct a public comment. Next comment, please.
Please give me your name so that I can make sure.
Okay, my name is Winnie Fong. First of all, I want to say yes on A, because when Joe and Gadio want us to support him, and I walk so much door to door to help him, support him. And he promised he will talk to us, make a big decision, and we will be in the meeting. But never we have meeting with him. Okay, he just make everything by himself. And also, right now, close Great Highway, I feel like he betrayed us. And he closed the Great Highway my daughter live on 37 and Vicente. There were two accidents, and that's why you can see there are two bumps to slow down the car. And also my daughter lived 37, so after close the Great Highway, saw two big major, truck and two accidents. And I live on 19th Avenue, okay? And I see every day, and even the ambulance got stuck in the middle, go nowhere, because all the cars got jammed right there. People try to drive on 18th Avenue, and even drive on 17th Avenue, but 17th Avenue doesn't go through Judah. So people have to go back to 18th Avenue. So you're really a mess. Once we close, the main major in my mind, how about in LA, Fire Castle? What the people in there, where to go? And very dangerous.
Thank you for your comment. Next person on my please give me your name so that I can rearrange this list.
Buenas tardes a todos. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Y creo que estamos, soy Guillermina Castellanos, codirectora de Nuevo Sol, Day Labor Domestic Worker aquí en San Francisco.
Good evening, everyone. I want to remind everyone that the Village United, the People United will never be defeated. My name is Guillermina Castellanos. I'm the director of Nuevo Sol, the Day Laborers and Domestic Workers Program.
Gracias. Yo estoy aquí representando los derechos de los trabajadores, de las trabajadoras del hogar, los jornaleros, porque en estos momentos nuestra comunidad latina inmigrante está siendo atacada fuertemente por el racismo, la injusticia y la falta de dignidad.
I'm here representing the domestic workers because right now our communities are being attacked by racism and by indignity.
Creo que nosotros no podemos jugar un juego político por las razones de que ustedes, cada uno de ustedes, sé que están viendo cómo está siendo criminalizada nuestra comunidad.
Right now is not the time to play games because we know that all of you are seeing the way that our community is being criminalized.
Creo que ahorita es momento de unirnos y buscar nuevas estrategias, nuevas ordenanzas para luchar en contra de todo este ataque antimigrante que están pasando.
Right now is the time to unite and to strategize about how to protect our communities that are being attacked and being criminalized.
Estamos ahorita siendo despedidos injustamente. No quieren pagarle a nuestros trabajadores lo que es justo, su salario, que trabajan para sobrevivir en este país.
We're being fired and let go. They don't want to pay our workers a living wage and for what they need to survive in this country.
Creo que si trabajamos juntos, vamos a hacer el cambio que de verdad sea una ciudad santuario y está en sus manos que cambie toda esta situación que ahorita no está trabajando.
If we work together, we can make this city an actual sanctuary, and it's in your hands to change what's happening right now.
Tengo mucha confianza en ustedes porque veo algunos que han trabajado mutuamente, mano a mano con nosotros para luchar en contra de las cosas o de las ordenanzas del régimen de Trump.
I have a lot of confidence in you guys because I'm looking and I see people who have worked hand in hand with us to fight against these Trump ordinances.
Nuestra comunidad los ve a ustedes como los líderes, que ustedes son los que están defendiendo a nuestra comunidad latina inmigrante de Latinoamérica, el Caribe.
We see you as leaders who are protecting and helping our communities, our Latino communities, our Caribbean communities.
Entonces nosotros está en nuestros hombros y en sus hombros hacer las cosas bien. Juntos la lucha seguirá y esperamos trabajar juntos para sacar ordenanzas y aliviar un poco la vida de nuestra comunidad.
So it's on our shoulders and your shoulders to work together to have justice going forward for our community.
Y luchar porque de verdad sea una ciudad santuario. Muchas gracias. Buenas noches. We need to fight so that this is actually a sanctuary city. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
That's PCB. Jack Clark, right? Yeah, go ahead.
My name is John Clark, actually legally. I worked for the city of county for 30+ years. I lived in Sunset for 30+ years. And actually met Joel when he was running. He told me a whole different story than what really went on. But let me ask you folks here right now, have you ever seen anything this in your careers in politics in San Francisco? Kind of strange. It's just a small crowd here. All years want to have this guy recalled. These people have called with different names, place next door, having a riot next door here. It's not true. These are really good people. I know a lot of years that have come out here on their own time. And this is something I was doing until I found out that he's done what he's done. And it's not right. That goal is not against the law. That's the way. We're just going to ask you folks really think about what this man has done. And in the facts that come out are all true, according to what's written. And where do we go with this? This is stand up and let the next one go. We're not standing for this anymore. He's been mentored by somebody. I mean, this has been going on for a while. It took forever to plan the changing of the lights on Lincoln, Lincoln and Fulton. It took years to develop that. We were at the hearings for that. And, this is something that's been going on, and he never said a word about it. It's been going on for quite a long time. And we didn't hear about it until it was a park. That's about it, you know, but please consider what we're here for.
Good evening. My name is Naj Daniels. I'm the Government of District 10. People are imperfect. People make bad decisions all the time, and there are unintentional consequences. America didn't want Kamala, got Trump. San Francisco didn't want London, got Lula. The Black community feels betrayed. We have been villainized and disrespected by the very city that we built. We belong here. Where is the committee focused on the dwindling back Black community of San Francisco? We are not all addicts or homeless. Protect our presence. Meanwhile, in the same vein, trying to partner with ICE, is San Francisco a sanctuary city? Our dream will not be deferred. We will not be moved with or without Dreamkeeper Initiative funding. And none of us are free until all of us are free. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. I'm a native Chairman. Oh my God. I'm sorry. My dad works for the city, already lived the time chief in the fire department. I know how insane politics and things often things go here. I am from the Outer Mission, and was very present when Dan White killed Mayor Moscone and Harvey Milk. So I know insanity. But today, I had to drive through the Sunset and try and decide what street to take to get to Lombard Street from Redwood City. Well, how many streets do I have to decide? 48? Can't go to Great Highway anymore. Never had to deal with this issue in my life, 62 years here. Can't go 19th Avenue, can't go to Sunset. It's like, what? I lived here all my life. I could drive blindfolded here. While I was driving down 43rd Avenue between Sloat and Lincoln, I saw many children. I'm panicking, other cars are panicking, we're all panicking to get through this map. Can I just say one more thing? I've never even heard of anybody flipping a freeway, a highway, a federal road. And for you all, I mean, we're here, all San Francisco should be here. Like, I never heard of it.
Are there any other senior citizens, anyone else who considers themselves a senior citizen who would like to hop the queue here? All right, I'm gonna go back to my list. Lori Milburn, followed by Linda Richardson, followed by Eva Tirado.
Hello, I'm here to urge you to vote yes on A, and if you can't do that, vote no on endorsement, and let the citizens or the residents of District 4 decide. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Up next, I have Linda Richardson, followed by Eva Tirado, followed by Peter Bob.
Okay, so good evening, everyone, and to our chair, Nancy Tong, thank you for your great work on the DCTC. I want to take this opportunity to welcome members of the San Francisco Democratic Party. I'm looking in the audience, a lot of my friends are here and colleagues, so welcome, thank you all. The Baby Honest poem you heard before from the host, Theo Ellington. Bayview is one of the most beautiful places in San Francisco. And decades ago, I was one of the community folks that put together economic plan to revitalize Bayview and the India Basin. And I continue doing that throughout the city. I see my colleague here, also helping with Treasure Island. What I wanted to say is that we need your help. We are going to be coming out here for you on initiatives that you can help us with. And please do not let this be the last time you come out here. It's great that you're going and taking the show on the road for San Francisco. It helps to invigorate everybody and also as help to your leadership. Again, your work is very difficult. We know that. So, but I just wanted to come out here today to say hello to everyone, all of you, and hope to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Close your eyes. From the weather's cold. Okay. Peter Bob. You ready?
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to speak here this evening. My name is Peter Bali, and I'm a member of the Bernal Heights Democratic Club. However, I'm here in my own capacity this evening. My views are not representative of the club. These are perilous times in our country, and in particular for our local immigrant community. Every day we see law-abiding immigrants and asylum seekers who come to our local courthouse to have their cases heard, be arrested outside and sent to prisons around the country and around the world. Therefore, I find it unconscionable that the two leaders in our Democratic Party, Nancy Tong and Joshua Arce, chose to undermine California Democratic Party's efforts to condemn local collaboration with ICE. We look to the Democratic Party to defend civil rights and the rule of law against the appalling policies and practices enacted by the current president and his administration. The DCCC needs to stay united and find itself on the right side of history in this matter. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. My next couple of names are Julia Toscano, Jamil Patterson, Piercy Bastiani, and Harlow Gillespie. Julia.
San Francisco Living Wage Coalition Campaign Co-Director Julia Toscano. We are witnessing a large percentage of low-wage workers in this city that are living in fear. Some are afraid to go to job sites and meetings on getting jobs. Some are even afraid when sending their children to school. Once word gets out that the state of California is going to be sharing license plate data with ICE, the immediate reaction will be that their movements around the city will be captured by license plate readers and being funneled to ICE. They will fear leaving their homes, potentially resulting in the collapse of the California economy, considering a large part of our workforce will stop going to work. The position of the Living Wage Coalition is that we are one group of workers, and when one group of workers' wages are exploited, that is a threat to all workers. We need to do everything possible so that a group of workers don't feel vulnerable exercising their workers' rights so that they can continue to go to work. 3 things that you can do: refuse to share license plate data with ICE, turn out on September 1st, Labor Day March, and on the City Hall steps on September 2nd.
Thank you for your comment. Up next, I have Julia Patterson, Piercy Bastiani, and Harlow. Jamil Patterson. All right, Piercy Bastiani.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Piercy PJ Bastiani III, and I was recently appointed as the Young Adult Committee Chair for the San Francisco NAACP. Now, last year, when our Bay Area native Vice President Harris entered the presidential race, I stood before this very body and asked a simple but urgent question. What is the Democratic Party's plan to recruit college students, the lifeblood of campaigns? And the answer at the time was that there was no plan. And not only was there no plan from this committee, not a single Democratic club, and I've asked the presidents, had a plan. In response, Pastor Brown of Third Baptist Church and then president of the San Francisco branch of NAACP appointed me as the college campus mobilizer for the NAACP. From there, I went to work. Many of you know this because I personally assisted with 6 of your endorsed campaigns with outreach at the University of San Francisco and San Francisco State University, and I did it largely by myself. I do have to thank a volunteer from one of the campaigns. I don't know if I could say by name, but Mr. Alex from one of the District 1 supervisory campaigns was really helpful, and shout out to Mark. But here's the reality. 2024 showed us the consequences of not investing in a generation, in my generation, and the generation after me. Many of my peers didn't vote, and some even voted third party. We cannot afford to repeat that in 2026. So tonight, I come to you not with criticism, but with partnership. I ask you again, what is your plan to recruit and engage college students for the upcoming cycle? And how can I, in my capacity as both the NAACP Young Adult Chair and someone who has already been in the trenches on campus and 10 toes on business, working with you to make sure that those plans are real, coordinated, and effective. And read my page 4 of the San Francisco Bay Union newspaper, my first published article, which I submit to the committee.
Yes, let me take this moment to remind everyone if you wish to make a public comment, you need to come fill out a card here and hand it to me. Thank you. Okay. Arlo.
Hi, good evening, committee members. My name is Harlow, last name Pippinger. I am a lifelong San Franciscan and Democrat, and urging you to support the recall of Joel Engardio tonight. As others have stated, this is about much more than just the park. I personally supported Prop K, although I now think that was the wrong decision, but the way Joel went about it was completely wrong. He misled voters about his position, initially saying that he supported the compromise and then bringing this to the ballot in secret without consulting his constituents. So I see that as a failure of elected leadership. And although I'm no fan of recalls, I've seen this as the most grassroots effort that I've seen in politics in my time. And the 11,000 signatures gathered by volunteers reflects how people feel about this, that they've been betrayed, that their anger, and we need to hold Joel accountable for his actions. I will also add that more broadly, Joel does not represent his constituents, he represents his donors, who are just 6 tech billionaires that make up the majority of his contributions. And we deserve politicians that represent the actual democratic will of the people, not just a few big money people. So urging you to please support this recall, stand with the people of the Sunset, or at the very least, no position so that the voters can make their own choice. Thank you.
Okay, speaking for your comment. Up next, I have Ken Dare, followed by, okay, Ken Dare, your last name I have, and then we go with readings.
Thank you so much to this esteemed body here. I urge you at least to vote to endorse yes for the proposition. Now, there's been numerous comments about what you should do yes for. He didn't do this, he didn't do that, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Irregardless of this, what I do want to say is, if you cannot do a yes endorsement, then do a non-endorsement. This country was founded long ago because the country decided to split off from the tyranny of England. It also wanted to make sure people voted. There was a civil war in the 1800s to allow more people to vote. In the early 1900s, women was allowed to vote. It has always been in this country, we let people vote. So if you cannot do a yes endorsement, then please do a non-endorsement and let the people vote. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. I'm going to recall the names and we call them have a response on. Jen Pagia, Pamela Holiday, Eva Tirado, and Jamil Patterson. Or Jen Doherty.
Jen Doherty.
Okay, sorry. That was a really, I couldn't read that. Is there Jen Doherty in the house?
Yes.
My apologies. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. Hi, my name's Jen Doherty. I am just a neighborhood girl from D4. And I'm just.
Sorry, Ms. Doherty, could you speak into the mic, please?
Okay. Hi, I'm Jen. Oh, God. Anyway, I'm here. I'm actually supporting the recall of Joel Engardio because I'm actually one of the people on the wanted bam list that he's called out. So he has not represented us. He's taken away our highway. I've actually had personal meetings with him before any of the Prop K or anything with neighborhood stuff, and he just lies. He's betrayed us, and I don't feel comfortable being called out on social media by him, my elected district supervisor, like calling us out like we're the bad guys and we are his constituents. So I'm actually I'm a little more worried about my public opinion right now is a little bit more overshadowed by him calling us out on a 20-person, actually 19, because he called Lisa out twice. I didn't even realize he called one woman out twice. But it's kind of creepy and scary, and this is our elected district supervisor. And if we can't have him having our back, he's nothing. And I live on the Playa in Lincoln, where it's a nightmare, where we have bumper-to-bumper traffic, baloney and the taco truck that he's put out there, and wants to put 8 stories up. And I know I'm going all over the place because I only have so much time, but he needs to go. And I really would hope you would listen to the actual residents of this district. We want Joel Engardio to go.
Thank you for your comment. All right, final call. Who wants to give public comment? You fill up this card right now. Well, I know you. I know your name. I could throw it now. Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I would support the recall of Joel Engardio for no other reason than the residents say they want him gone. If they say they want him gone, then we need to respect that they want him gone. And it's not for anybody else in the city to tell you that they should not feel the way they want to feel. So as far as I'm concerned, if that's what it is, then we need to respect that. That's kind of not the reason why I'm up here. The last time I had the honor of speaking for this prestigious body, my behavior was a little bit inappropriate, and I used words like coward and spineless. And I wanted to take a moment to apologize for that.
Very nice.
While I didn't agree with why I called you that, it was not appropriate, and I'm working on my appropriateness. And since I called you cowards and spineless in public, I thought it was appropriate for me to call you to apologize and atone for that behavior publicly as well. So that is the reason why I'm here tonight. Oh, I actually have 30 seconds and I'm already done speaking. How about that? Recall Joel Engardio. There you go.
I'm sure there's no other names in the roll.
Okay, thank you. So we will take a short break, but I do want to respond, address some of the comments we heard from our labor brothers and sisters and immigrant community members about a recent state Democratic Party executive board meeting. I think that maybe some of you don't have context for what they are talking about, and so I want to be transparent and upfront about that. There was a resolution calling upon the state party to prohibit the sharing of driver's license data with ICE and every other federal agency. Like all of us here on the DCCC and in this room, I strongly oppose the sharing of any information with ICE and condemn the actions of ICE and the Trump presidency resoundingly. However, I ask that we have a conversation about the language, any other federal agency. As many of you may know, state law already prohibits local law enforcement agencies from sharing data with ICE, including automated license plate reader data, and that has been the law for at least 10 years. I pointed out that in my experience as a prosecutor, that many kidnapping cases and human trafficking cases across the nation, federal law enforcement when things cross state lines where federal law enforcement has jurisdiction, access to license plates in real time has saved lives of young children. In fact, the first 6 hours of any child abduction is the most critical in ensuring the safe return of a child. So I called for some nuance in the state party's position so that the abduction of children and human trafficking victims were not hurt by overbroad language. Other e-board members made the case that under the Trump administration, there is a risk that information obtained by any federal agency could be shared with ICE, which is understandable considering the times that we live in. and on the actions of this fascist administration. So as a party, we kept that language, any federal agency, and the motion that based to oppose sharing info with ICE and any other federal agency passed. During my comments to the executive board of the state party, I specifically stated that I was fully opposed to sharing information with ICE. But nuance is often difficult to communicate in politics, and I apologize if raising this question gave anyone a contrary impression. We on this body all agree that the sanctuary city policy is critically important to the safety of our communities and our city, and that we all stand behind it. I've been focused on finding ways we can support our immigrant communities in these very dark times. One concrete way to do that is to do what I did last Friday. Last Friday, I volunteered with Faith in Action to accompany an immigrant family of 4 from Colombia that were seeking asylum in the United States. Their 2 young children were there, a 10-year-old in SFUSD and a 2-year-old. I have asked all members of this committee and delegates to the state party to volunteer for these accompaniments. If you are also interested in doing so, please feel to reach out. Thank you for hearing me out, and I know that I and all of us will continue to oppose ICE in our words, our policies, and actions, and I hope that this provides some clarification. Thank you for listening. We will stand in recess for 10 minutes. Thank you.
I know.
This is your 2-minute warning. We reconvene in 2 minutes. All right, if I could have members of the Democratic County Social Committee retake their seats. If I could have everybody make their way back to their seats. We are going to be reconvening imminently. All right, let's take our seats, everybody. Madam Chair, whenever you're ready.
The mics are, oh, there we go, the mics are on. Thank you. I'm calling this meeting back to order. I hope everybody had enough time to take a break and reflect. We are on to item number 6, which is reports. I think if there is a report you were planning on making, but you can abbreviate it, I think people in the room would appreciate that. We have the chair's report. I wanted to recognize members of the Alameda County DCCC that came to our meeting tonight. That would be Lauren Taylor and Pamela Ferran, and to thank them for joining us along with the Black Action Alliance, Sinclair Ridley Thomas, Malcolm Goodwin, and Corey Bell. This weekend at the executive board meeting of the state party, we did vote to endorse Prop 50, which is Governor Newsom's redistricting plan. And so we will be working closely with the campaign in order to promote and turn out voters for Prop 50. I hope you will all volunteer. Any other committees have reports? Vice Chair Calmucci.
Sure, I'll keep it real brief, but I didn't want to let the moment slide without noting that this weekend is Labor Day. Labor Day being the workers' holiday, a day of rest and relaxation, but it's also a day where we should remember what it is that we're fighting for, particularly when working people are under relentless attack by this administration and at many different levels of government and by employers who are particularly emboldened these days. So I do want to just give one quick update. A couple of months ago, we did a resolution in support of workers who were in a fight with UCSF. These workers represented by NUHW. That fight continues. They've had rolling strikes being supported by other unions, including CNA, operating engineers. They're still in some litigation, still in intense contract fights, but they are asking our support to remain vigilant and in solidarity with those workers. And Chair Khan, that is my report.
Thank you. Director Lutz? No, okay. Director Coles?
Yes, I want to build on what Susan Pfeiffer shared during public comment. We are gearing up for Prop 50, and I know many of you poured your heart out for Kamala Harris, and you all became experts in call to win and phone banking, and so we need your expertise again. But more importantly, there are so many different ways that you can lend your sweat and treasure to Prop 50. You can phone bank, you can canvass, you can even host a small house party. For more information, I would love to invite you to participate in an organizing call that the California Democratic Party is hosting tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. You can find the link to participate in that call on the sfdems.org website under events. And we will continue to share more information with you about how you can help. Thank you.
Also under external operations, we wanted to report out back to Director Coles that we did have a number of our party members doing phone banking for the Save Our Healthcare campaign. I phone banked twice in the last month. I know that Member Sangiardi and Director Chen and Executive Director Esfandiari also phone banked. Anybody else that I missed? Oh, yes, and yes, Vice Chair Calamucci. And Ernesto is, our proxy for Speaker Emerita Pelosi is doing it every day.
Yeah. Actually, on the topic of Save Our Healthcare, I just want to thank all my colleagues for helping to pass the resolution condemning the Medicaid cuts. And I plan to go to the Health Commission meeting on Monday to share with them the resolution. And I invite anybody who would like to join me, especially my brothers and sisters in labor or co-sponsors, to join me to share our sentiments about the Medicaid cuts to the Health Commission.
Thank you. All right, Executive Director Esfandiari.
I'll keep this brief because it's submitted right afterwards. But real quick, this month we've been debating, we co-hosted a meet and greet with the WAPA, the Black Women Organizing Political Action. The crowd lines was well attended. We did a community cleanup in partnership with EDOT and Refuse Refuse on August 16th. We worked with the African American Faith Coalition and the SFR Food Bank and local food trucks that Vice Chair Akbar, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I believe it was 895 people were fed based on that service event. Wonderful. We brought people and brought attention to the seafood boil and Sunday streets that occurred this past Sunday on August 24th. We amplified and co-hosted the phone banks that others have heard talk about to Virginia and to Save Our Healthcare campaign on a number of days, on Wednesdays and Thursdays of the past month, and we're going to be added to that rotation. Some on Prop 50 now that the state party has endorsed Prop 50, which holds us in by default. The rest of the stuff I will submit after the fact in the written report. The only one other update I want to provide is that the CDP pre-endorsement conference roster stuff has concluded. My understanding is that 13 Democratic clubs submitted rosters to the state from our county. 13 clubs submitted rosters to the state party. They are currently going through the procurement process now for validating those names. I've been providing technical support along with Vice Chair Hare and the Post and Charter Committee. And yeah, I believe that's it for the most part. The rest also makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to call on Regional Director Penny Kelly for any comments.
Hello, and I do want to thank this wonderful man over here, Bobat, for even putting up with those 13 clubs and the Democratic Party to make this go. It was a really difficult thing. He kept on it. When I called in, they said, oh, Bobat has already come and told us that. We'll get it back to you. So I just looked really.
Here's your time.
Anyway, that was the nice thing. Now, here is the nicer thing. We're talking about labor, right? Well, we should join the San Francisco Labor Council and our allies for a Labor Day action on Monday, September 1st at 11 a.m. You meet at the 16th and Mission BART Plaza. And then it's followed by a short march to Dolores Park, where we will hear from powerful labor community and speakers. You know, some of us don't think that's such a short walk. I might just be there waiting for you. But I really would like to see people come out for Labor Day. Is anybody here on this group here going to the pre-Labor Day breakfast with the unions? Can I see some hands? Okay, that's good, but we really should all try and do that. And thank you very much. And I'm not going to take any more of your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Regional Director Kelly. All right, moving on to agenda item number 7, which is the endorsement of local measure for the September 16th District 4 special election. And Member Lily Ho is the chair of our Issues and Resolutions Committee, and she has a brief statement to summarize the interviews that were held a couple of weeks ago.
Thank you, Chair Khan. The Issues and Resolutions Committee held an interview for the ballot proposition for the special election of District 4. And it was held on August 13th, so I want to thank everyone who came in to view that recording either live or afterwards. Appreciate your participation in our process. The Issues and Resolutions Committee is making a recommendation of no endorsement.
Thank you, Member Ho. All right. Is there any debate or discussion on, let me see, do we need to have a motion to consider this item? Motion by Senator Wiener.
I vote to
The endorsement is, the motion should be to consider the endorsement of, to take an endorsement vote on this item.
So are you seeking a motion?
Yes, I'm seeking. Yes, motion and then discussion.
So then I can make the motion to be opposed. No.
Okay. The way that our endorsement process works is that we consider an endorsement position. It's not that we are going to take a vote on a particular position. So what I'm hearing from you is that
It's what you want to do is call the roll and you vote yes, no.
yes, that's the way that we currently do our.
I thought.
Thank you. So I'm asking for a motion to consider item number 7, which is the endorsement vote for Proposition A. Okay, so moved by Member Wiener, seconded by Member Ho. All right, is there any debate or discussion on this item? Member Mark.
Thank you, Chair Tung and colleagues. I'm going to, if you'll indulge me, I'm going to speak a little bit more on this item than I typically do on GCCC items, given my, personal connection to it. And actually, this is the first time I'm speaking publicly about my perspectives on the recall election. In the past year plus, despite many, requests for me to state my position, including by some people in the press here today. So, colleagues, as a District 4 resident, as the predecessor District 4 supervisor, and really as a person that was in the hot seat on this issue for nearly 3 years before Joel's now in the hot seat, I do want to share my perspectives on why, what I think is a responsible position for the Democratic Party to take on this issue. I do urge you to support the recommendation of the issues and endorsement committee of no endorsement on this issue. This is a decision for District 4 voters alone. Our community deserves to weigh this extremely divisive issue without further outside influence, especially when tech and crypto billionaires have already poured more than $784,000 into the recall campaign, trying to influence and really buy the vote in District 4. And this is at a time when trust in democracy here in San Francisco and in our country is extremely fragile. So the Democratic Party here in San Francisco should not add to that outside influence on such a deeply local question as Proposition A. I also want to be clear that I personally have very mixed feelings about this recall. I've always opposed the use of recalls as a political weapon. I only support them when an official has been found guilty of misconduct or ethical violations. And that's why I strongly oppose the recalls in 2022 of the district attorney and our school board members. Even though I disagreed with some of their policies, I felt then, and I still feel now, that policy disagreements should really be decided in regular elections. But at the same time, I believe this recall is actually more justified than those that we had in 2022. As so many have stated tonight and really repeatedly over the past year, Supervisor Engardio misled voters about one of the most contentious issues in our district, and presenting one position in order to get votes, and of many of the people here today, and then reversing himself once in office. Not only that, he then led an effort to put a citywide ballot measure on the ballot without any input from his constituents who he misled on his position on this issue. Well, much of his campaign for supervisor in 2022, and I had a front row seat for that one, it was really built on fueling the divisiveness of the 2022 recalls. But now he argues that he shouldn't be subject to similar anger when it comes to neighborhood street issues, which he's really stirred up. So I think that contradiction has really not gone unnoticed in our community among District 4 residents here. So finally, I also want to emphasize something unique to my perspective on this issue. I'm closer than anyone, Supervisor Engardio included, to the strong feelings about this issue. And it's not just about the closure of the Great Highway to cars, but it's about the importance of meaningful public input on divisive decisions by public officials. During my tenure, my staff and I spent more time on this issue than any other by a wide margin. From the very beginning of the pandemic in April 2020, when I first suggested that we repurpose the Great Highway as a safe space for recreation during shelter in place, to working with residents and city departments to address increased traffic by installing over 36 stop signs and speed bumps in the outer avenues, to collaborating with Mayor Breed to reopen the highway to cars on weekdays in August 2021, when people were going back to work and school and really needed the highway to get around more. To the very last piece of legislation that I passed as District 4 Supervisor in December 2022, to keep the compromise in place as a 3-year pilot program. Every step was shaped by extensive town halls, community meetings, and neighborhood engagement. So I know firsthand how deeply people feel and how critical it is for leaders to listen rather than dictate. So for all these reasons, I cannot personally endorse Supervisor Engardio in this situation, but neither do I believe the Democratic Party should insert itself into this recall in a way that adds to the division or aligns with the massive outside spending already flooding the recall election. So the most principled position for our party to take is no endorsement and respect the right of District 4 voters to decide this election for ourselves. And finally, I want to make one more point, and this is around the responsibility of us as Democratic Party leaders right now. I agree. I think we all, or I know that we all agree that unity, that our party should be a force for unity and not division. Taking a side in this recall would deepen the polarization in District 4, and I say that again as a person that was in the center of this before Joel. And also I live there, these are my neighbors here. And it's at a time when, and it's really going to deepen division within our parties. I mean, there's different factions here that are split on this, no on A, yeah. So I think this is a time when Democrats, us here and everyone needs to urgently come together to meet the bigger challenges facing San Francisco and our country. A no endorsement position is not only the fairest path, it's also the one that preserves unity and respects democracy here in San Francisco in District 4. So again, colleagues, I really strongly urge you and all of us to let District 4 voters decide this issue without any extra undue influence. And let's take a no endorsement position as was recommended by the Issues Endorsement Committee.
Thank you. Thank you, Member Marm. Any other? Yes, Member Weiner by proxy.
It's funny, I think what you said, Supervisor, is almost the opposite. You said we're concerned about outside influence. Well, that's all the more reason why the Democratic Party should step up. We should always be allowed for it. There's always outside influences in every election. And the Democratic Party doesn't say, oh, we're not doing it all because someone's spending a great deal of money on Asia Boulevard or on Narrow Freeway when those are contentious matters, or with the first time domestic partners on the ballot and it lost. Should the party not got involved because people were upset about it? And I think it's interesting when you say that the party shouldn't take a position, and yet we voted for the party to take a position when there was the party opposed the recall of DA. The party opposed these other recalls. Wow. It was okay to vote for the opposition then, but now we shouldn't get involved. The Democratic Party should be the loudest voice there is to try to drown out outside influences, because we are the Democratic Party. We should be more important than newspapers, we should be more important than IT specialists, PACs, and we are the Democratic Party. People want to know what we stand for, and to not take a position on something like this. How can we look the voters in the eye and say, oh, we didn't get involved? You got elected to make tough votes. If you can't make tough votes, you shouldn't stand for an election to be on the board of the Democratic Party. Joel Engardio, and I think about the slate of people that ran for the San Franciscans for change, Democrats for change. What did you run on? You ran on housing, you ran on public safety, you ran on education. And his reputation on those in his voting record is perfect. But you don't like this one issue. I think that this recall should be opposed. People that are supporting it, I appreciate their sincerity, and I do.
We hope that.
Excuse me, please, this is not a time for the public to comment.
I respect my friends and colleagues here that are going to vote otherwise. But I know the senator feels very strongly that to recall and begin the process. Think about what this is going to say about other supervisors and other districts that have to make tough votes. Is the way to handle these issues have me recall? Is that really what it's about? Recalls are when there's malfeasance to the point of public safety, criminal activity. It's not something like this because people are just upset. And many people, and you voted for the recall before. Pardon me, I didn't say for. You voted in the roll call vote, you voted no.
Stop. Ms. Chu, I'm warning you. Do not speak to the members of this committee directly. The time for that was during public comment. Everything now must follow our code of conduct and be respectful to the people who are sitting here, not just the members of the committee, but the other people in the audience as well. Please do not make direct comments right now.
I can take a hit. Here we have Senator Peter, he asked me to oppose the recall of this and we'll see what happens next year when we have.
Thank you, Member Weiner. Any other discussion or comment? Member Gupta.
So, DCCC colleagues, first of all, happy back to school, folks. Hope everyone's having a good one. I'm a resident of the Sunset. I'm also Asian. My wife is from a working class Chinese family. We voted no on the recall of Supervisor Joel Engardio. Again, we Asians are not a monolith. I don't agree with all his positions or decisions, but I believe in democracy and accountable governance, not recalls that undermine the very foundation of local representations. Recalls should be reserved for egregious misconduct, corruption, or dereliction of duty, not used as a political weapon when we disagree on policy. I hear the frustration and anger. If D4 constituents are dissatisfied, we will have an opportunity to express that at the election next year, as we should in a functioning democracy. If we normalize recalling elected officials in the middle of their term, we erode trust in democratic institutions and set a precedent that makes it harder for anyone to govern, especially in a city already struggling with polarization and gridlock. I appreciate Supervisor Engardio because as a parent, I fought for 8th grade algebra, serving on a parent committee. As a Board of Education member, his 8th grade algebra proposition demonstrated to district leadership that more than 80% of San Franciscans demand 8th grade algebra. I asked my 12-year-old daughter actually before this meeting what she thought about the recall. She asked why people wanted to recall, and I shared that many recall proponents are upset with the closure of the Great Highway. She said, but he didn't close it. He put it up for a vote and the people voted on it. So rather than focus on an expensive re-election, money spent on this recall is money we should be spending on transit solutions. When we think about bringing our communities together, how can we work together to figure out what the problem and what the solution is to this? I mean, I go from the Sunset to Richmond every day to drop off and pick up my daughter to her school. 19th Avenue has always had traffic on it for the last 10 years. It's always been full of traffic. Let's fix that. Or let's fund senior housing, as someone brought up. I need my supervisor spending his time helping to improve our city and fighting for our community against the Trump administration rather than fighting a recall. That's why I urge you all to vote no on this recall.
Thank you, Member Gupta. Any other debate or discussion? Member 2.
So as you all know, I do live in the Sunset District, and I think the one thing that we're all really missing is that the supervisor really thought of only himself in this situation. So an example of this is my grandma, who is disabled, bound to a wheelchair. I'm not going to be able to wheel her down all the way to the Great Highway and then push her on that part. I think that's fine, but he only thought of himself in this situation. Many of us who are working people need that Great Highway to go from one side of the city to the other. And there's a reason why he got elected is because the district did not feel represented. So that was the fact. And the matter of fact is now that they still don't feel represented, and that's why they're so upset, and that's why they feel so betrayed. And it's really upsetting that the supervisor is now saying, oh, I'm finally in my car and I'm looking at the pain points. I've been driving from the Sunset to the Richmond District for 10 plus years now. MLK has never been this bad. It takes me about 35 to 40 minutes to get to work. Now, people who live in the Sunset say, well, I can't get on it anyways because there's no entry point, there's only 2 entry points. But it's not about you. It's about the people who actually use that street. So I understand both sides. Now, I was a big supporter of Supervisor Engardio, so it really hurts that I'm even saying this, but the reality is that the district is not fully represented. And that's why there's this whole recall happening. So it's really unfortunate that this is happening, but that is why I'm going to vote no endorsement, because that's what the people want, and that's who brought me into office.
Thank you, Member 2. Any other debate or discussion? All right, seeing none, it's time to vote. Director Chen.
This is a vote for item 7A, endorsement on the Democratic Party endorsement on Proposition A, the recall of cardio in District 4. I will call the roll from the top of the list. The choices that you have to vote are yes, no, no endorsement, abstain, and you may also pass on the first round. Are there any questions before the end?
No.
And lastly, the endorsement requires a majority vote, a majority of members voting, which means not counting absences and abstentions.
I want to call out one thing, Madam Chair, just to acknowledge it. Member San Girardi did leave,
Yes.
but before he left, he did submit the paperwork and the requirement to be recognized by proxy by Member Gupta, and that's his last proxy.
Yes, I will recognize Member Gupta as a proxy for Member San Girardi.
If there are no other questions, starting the roll from the top. Akbar.
No endorsement.
Akbar, no endorsement. Alio Pierre is absent. Avalos.
Abstain.
Avalos, abstain. Arce.
No endorsement.
Arce, no endorsement. Kawaguchi.
No.
Kawaguchi, no. Chan.
Abstain.
Chan, abstain. Chandler.
No.
Chandler, no. Chen is no. Coles.
No endorsement.
Coles is no endorsement. Dorsey.
No.
Dorsey, no. Galata.
Abstain.
Galata, abstain. Gupta.
No.
Gupta, no. Hare.
No.
Hare, no. Ho.
No endorsement.
Ho, no endorsement. Kim is absent. Lai.
Abstain.
Lai, abstain. Mahmoud is absent. Mar.
No endorsement.
Mar, no endorsement. Win.
Abstain.
Win, abstain. Philhauer.
No endorsement.
Philhauer, no endorsement. San Girardi.
No.
San Girardi, no. Kingsbury.
No.
Kingsbury, no. Two. Two, no endorsement. Ex officios. Pelosi.
No.
Pelosi, no. Mullen.
No.
Mullen, no. Kounalakis.
No endorsement.
Kounalakis, no endorsement. Ma.
No endorsement.
Ma, no endorsement. Cohen.
No endorsement.
Cohen, no endorsement. Wiener.
No.
Wiener, no. Haney is absent. Stephanie.
Abstain.
Stephanie, abstain. Chair Tom.
No endorsement.
Chair Tom, no endorsement. Have all those who wish to vote voted? One moment. The count is 11 for no, 11 for no endorsement, 6 abstaining, 4 absent.
There is no majority for any position. The party remains at no position. Moving on to item number 9, new business. Is there any new business, members?
I have just a.
Member Avalos.
Thank you, Chair Ton.
Folks, if we could retain quiet. Meeting's not over yet.
Colleagues, I want to express some concern about the California, the Golden State gerrymandering plan, Prop 50. I believe that we have a responsibility to really make it more than just about defeating Donald Trump, but really actually putting forward what should we want, if we win a new Congress, what we want new Congress to do, so that we're actually preparing people who
have stayed out of elections, who don't feel strongly about the Democratic Party, or who are independents, can actually help us shape what that looks like, and make this process more meaningful than just a partisan exercise against Donald Trump. Earlier, before this agenda, I had submitted late a resolution that was actually calling for that. I actually made that all on my own, and I did it last minute, but I think it would be worthy for us to actually weigh in on that next meeting about what our process should be to really make this election that can attract people to want to take part, because we're envisioning a reconstruction of our society after the federal Trump administration has dismantled it in a fascist
Members of the
authoritarian
public,
way.
please take your conversations outside. Marie, I'm talking to you. Please take your conversations outside. Thank you.
So I've submitted a resolution. It wasn't accepted. I would like to see if we can work with the Issues Committee to craft something that could be meaningful and really start a broader dialogue that we know can have an impact on bringing people to take part in this election, so that we can give people hope that it's not enough just to be against Donald Trump, because that didn't work for Kamala Harris and all the people who wanted to support her, but how we can think about how we reconstruct our country that's been dismantled in a non-democratic way moving forward. So I want to put that out there, and hopefully we can have some discussions and meetings about that before the next submission of resolutions for our next meeting.
Thank you, Member Avalos. Any other new business? Okay, seeing none, moving to adjournments. We often adjourn in memoriam or in celebration of people or events. Are there any?
I saw in the paper today that Kate, do you remember Kate? She used to always volunteer at the coordination committee every year. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, so proud of her.
Thank you. We will adjourn in her memory. Any others? Okay, seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
All right, as always, if I could get help with, actually, no, I'm sorry, all the tablecloths were from the venue. And the microphones from the venue. So we don't, just make sure you clean up your garbage. Thank you.
Okay.